My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of The Skeleton Key. And I always talk about how critics have a bias against horror movies. And this movie is a perfect example of that. It has a 37% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's all subjective, but that is pure insanity to me. Just ridiculous. Okay, like this movie isn't well known. It is not a famous movie by any means necessary. And clearly the people who have seen it don't really care for it. And I just find that to be insane. I really do. This movie is extraordinary. I absolutely loved it. And if you have not seen it, go watch it now. Do not read the plot. Do not watch the trailer. Watch it as blind as possible. And I promise you, by the end, you'll be blown away. So let's begin talking about the cast. And I think Kate Hudson does a really great job here. She carries the movie so incredibly well. I like how smart her character is. And she's very convincing in everything she does. There was one moment near the end that she had to nail, and boy does she ever. Then we've got Gina Rowlands, who I thought was really great. You see the sweet, compassionate side of her, but then you also have some doubts if you can trust her or not, and I feel like she does all that perfectly. John Hurt, I think, gives a very underappreciated performance here. Like, you might think that due to the limitations of his character, it'll be a fine performance, but no, he's legitimately great here. Then you've got Peter Sarsgaard, who I thought did a good job, and Joy Brandt, who I also thought was good, even though she doesn't have a ton to do. And this movie is directed by Ian Softly, who directed that really bad Inkheart movie, and I thought he did a great job here. The Louisiana setting is brought to life perfectly. I think the movie has a really nice atmosphere. It's a very well shot. There are some moments here that are captured so perfectly. The movie is tense when it needs to be. And yeah, and then we get to the story, and I'm not going to talk about it all too much because it's one you should go in knowing as little as possible. I could imagine some people compare this movie to a much more popular movie, but it's important to point out this movie came out in 2005. If you've seen this movie, you know exactly what other movie I'm referring to. But I do like how this movie takes its time. It's a very slow-paced movie, and for the first two acts, I'm not going to lie, I thought it was fine, but I kept waiting to be wowed. Like, it's slow. But then we get to the last act, and I thought it delivered in every way. It is thrilling, it is tense, and how do I say this? Then there's a twist, and I don't typically like to say that in a review for a movie because then you go in expecting a twist. But my goodness, this twist is one of the best twists in a movie ever. And I truly mean that. I did not see it coming whatsoever. And not only is it shocking and effective in everything it's trying to do, but it also elevates the entire movie. Now I look back at other events and I'm like, oh my goodness, that's why that happened. Or, wait, so that means that actually happened. And the movie just has a whole new layer to it. And I can't stop thinking about it today. I watched it last night and it has stayed with me. It just leaves a real impression, and it's just a complete knockout of an ending, and I loved it. Like I said, the first two acts, they're good. They're very slow though. And I kept waiting for the movie to become great. And it does happen. You just have to be patient with this one. And I do like thematically how this movie's about old age and the treatment of people who can no longer take care of themselves. And I think that's explored in a very effective manner. So, yes, I'm trying really hard not to give anything away about this one because it is that good. My jaw was on the floor and I'm just like, holy shit. Like, it just, oh my goodness, so good. If you have not seen this movie, you need to change that ASAP. Like, it is amazing. And it blows my mind that it got really bad reviews. Like, are you really going to go to 2005 and say that Crash is a better movie than this? Like, really? Come on, give me a break. I don't believe that for a second. It's just, sometimes I can watch a movie and I can understand how people might not like it, but especially because I know so many people love a certain horror movie, it just feels like they went into this movie expecting one kind of movie and got another. Like, I've seen lots of people say it's not scary, and it's not the type of scary you might expect, but at a psychological level, it absolutely is. Not everything needs to be like Insidious and The Conjuring. I love those movies, but I like horror movies that do different things. I think it's good for the genre, I think it's good for filmmakers, and I just think it's good for the audience. So yeah, if you can't tell, I'm psyched about this movie. This movie got me excited. I feel like I discovered something really special, and I'm just trying to convince the world to give it a try as well. This movie is well acted. The movie is really well written. It is thematically rich. It is effective. It is terrifying in some ways. The movie's incredibly well made. It's got a nice atmosphere. I love this movie. I cannot recommend it enough, and I'm giving The Skeleton Key a 9 out of 10. Watch this movie. Just watch it. It is so good. But The Skeleton Key, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin out.